world's problems, occasionally spouting motherfucking this and that as if they were 40 years younger and living at the high-rise dorm at Penn. But in the middle of an argument about Hillary versus Bernie, Lavia claimed exhaustion suddenly and left early, left Tish and Bloc alone. Tish switched the music from Pharoah Sanders, singing about the creator having a master plan, to a not-so-subtle Marvin Gaye, begging, "Let's get it on." She swooned toward Bloc, where he sat in the center of her vegan leather couch, pausing to unpin her sister locks that fell around her shoulders like Rapunzel's hair. His moment had finally come. He'd prepared for the moment every time he'd visited Tish by packing a condom. He knew, after all, that their age group had the highest incidence of sexually transmitted diseases, and he was looking forward to being with a woman of his own age again. Thought women his own age deep and knowing, with a complexity that he found titillating, especially since his third wife had been 20 years younger and had shredded him, still shredding him that night, as Marvin Gaye sang the part about letting your love come out. And images of Bloc's ex-wife became an out-of-control slideshow clicking through his mind, flattening him so much that even his time-released ED pill that had never let him down. Tish had been patient, encouraging, asked him if he had some other woman he'd been keeping hid. Well then, was he impotent? Celibate? Gay? He said, no, hell no. He just didn't want to ruin the beautiful friendship they had going. She told him she could have handled the other three, but that just being friends remark was an insult, so he could let himself out. Today, he planned to make it up to Tish. He'd gone to see a holistic practitioner recommended to him by his young boy, his former intern at NASA, who was now in his 40s and who still repaid Bloc for advancing his career years ago by supplying him with good medical weed. The practitioner prescribed a concoction that Bloc had just started taking. He felt good right now, as he gave a thumbs up to the organist for his rendition of Hello, Young Lovers. It wasn't the Temptations version that Bloc would listen to as a teen on the 45 player he'd built himself, but it was good enough, as he hummed the line that cautions not to cry because he's all alone, because he, too, has had loves of his own, which he had. He'd married 3 times, trying to find a woman who could replicate his mother's smile. None could, though he'd gotten a princess of a daughter from wife number 1, perfection in a son from wife number 2, and financial calamity from wife number 3, because that one had a shopping addiction. She was the only one of the 3 wives who'd attached herself to his heart. He shook the thought of her now as he scanned the clubroom, looked past the gaggles sloshing their mimosas around in flutes as they munched on delicate mysteries stuffed in pastry puffs and talked about the midterms, or the conservative shitheads in this part of the state, or the price of Hamilton tickets. Then he saw Tish, tall and golden, in the center of the room, the crystal dangles of the chandelier twirling as if they were moved by her too. She was with Lavia, and a new woman Bloc had not yet met. He felt a surge of confidence right now. Had some good weed in his pocket, had his new alabaster pipe, had his condoms, had the medicine he'd started taking coursing through him, had his voice fixed to sing in Tish's ear his own version of "Let's Get It On." And then he felt it. Couldn't believe what he was feeling. It was as if the confidence he just sensed as an unfurling moving up from his toes had gone rogue, gone from an unfurling to a surge. The surge intensified, transitioning as it did to pulsing, from pulsing to throbbing. The throbbing quickened, hardened, already at his knees, his thighs. What the hell? He thought, as it bulged on up to his manhood and held there. His manhood jutting now, without provocation. What the ever-loving hell? He restrained himself from looking down to see if it was showing. It couldn't be showing. Hadn't shown since his junior prom, when in his tight tuxedo he danced slow with Marva, the school's fast girl, and she'd moved against